How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another amazing video. That's right, here on The Savior Show. This is, of course, the best show all around on YouTube. I've been saying this for years, and finally, guys, people are starting to wake up and realize and to smell the flowers that, yes, it is true. Savior Show is actually the most original YouTuber on this whole platform. He makes not just one kind of video, he mixes it up every upload. You never know what to expect. Is he gonna drop more amazing original music? Is he gonna talk about something completely random? Is he gonna help you and warn you about the dystopian world that we are living in? Well, guys, that's the juicy little moist surprise of the Savior Show, isn't it? I just want to say thank you very much, because recently, guys, the Savior Show has actually made it into mainstream news. I've been featured into 2 newspapers and online articles, and that's pretty cool, pretty nice. So, guys, without any more diddle-daddle, let's talk about Prince of Persia, okay? The OG original trilogy, Prince of Persia, a retrospective, okay? A retrospect of the original Prince of Persia, okay, guys? Now, recently, like many of us, there isn't been much to do in these, times where we are confined by the lovely government, who of course loves us and aren't out to destroy us. And I'm not going to be talking about that today, guys. I mean, I can't really say much, but remember, guys, the government loves you, and it certainly doesn't want to keep you suppressed and to take away all your liberties. That would be crazy. But guys, because there hasn't been much to do with life right now, I have been gaming quite a little bit, and I've talked about in other videos why I think modern day gaming is kind of falling down the shitter, okay? And that's to say it lightly. Most of it now just feels like a CSGO gambling website. You go onto a £40 game and you expect to play it offline. You don't need the internet, you just want to play the game, guys. But no, that doesn't happen anymore. You log in to any modern Call of Duty and you're bombarded with these pop-up messages. It looks like, a disgusting Las Vegas gambling slot machine where it just keeps telling you, wow, you can buy magical furry skins for your Call of Duty character. You can dress up as a magical trans wizard. It's crazy times we live in, guys, and nothing is, more greedy and disgusting than, modern day gaming. It's become truly just disgusting and just vile the way they market, these modern day games with microtransactions, cosmetics. You can't even play offline. It's just disgusting. I look back and I think, what has happened to gaming? Now, I understand, guys, that gaming now is very popular, okay? It's not like it used to be. It used to be a niche. It used to be really uncool to play games, but now, guys, everyone wants in on the action. If you have a little slot machine downstairs, you're welcome to join the gaming community, guys. And every game now has to be a female main character, because remember, guys, we live in inclusive and progressive times where our freedom of speech is completely shattered and we can't even go outdoors anymore, because remember, guys, we live in a free society and gaming has to be completely inclusive. It won't be too long before we're playing as, binary, non-gender characters. That's all I'm saying. But guys, in the good old days when I was growing up, on the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 1, the OG consoles, okay? I mean, they're OG for me. I know there were even more OG stuff. But guys, I'm talking about when gaming started to actually be good, with 3D graphics, 3D, actual good gameplay, not just, like Tetris or whatever, okay? There were some amazing games, not to say the least, like Spyro, Jak and Daxter, Prince of Persia. And guys, that's what I want to talk about today, is Prince of Persia. I'm sorry for rambling on and going on a little rant about modern day gaming. It just really makes me upset and sick to see that it's all just basically become a gambling website. And when you even get into modern day games, most of them follow the same mechanics and gameplay and open world linear, narratives, and it's just, it's disgusting. It's just the same stuff, and it holds your hand so much. Well guys, not like this game, okay? Back in the good old days when there was Prince of Persia 1, 2, and 3, I'm just gonna talk about the original 3. Yes, they have made more Prince of Persia games with, the rebooted one, which was actually pretty cool in like a weird cartoony art style. That was actually very nice, and although it wasn't actually about Prince of Persia, it was still a really good platformer game. It wasn't difficult in the least, but it was just a good game to relax and switch off to. But then they also did an actual reboot of Prince of Persia, which was complete just disgusting trash. The combat was so disgusting and so simple and watered down. But guys, in the old days, there were the 3 amazing Prince of Persia games, and I remember playing them back in the day, and god, this is what made me fall in love with gaming. This is what made me, really realize that gaming has the potential to have great stories and great gameplay, challenging gameplay. So if you don't know anything about the original Prince of Persia, well, basically, you were a Prince of Persia. You could say Persia, a Persian back then. You didn't have to call them, colored sand people, or I don't know the correct terminology, sumimasen. But anyway, you were a magic wizard with the power to go back in time every time you died with a magic little blade that you would click, and you would go back in time and retry your death, and that was very cool. But what made this game so cool wasn't just the time travel mechanics. This was the first time we really saw, wall running and, really good platforming in a, third-person action-adventure game like this. And yes, believe it or not, it was actually Ubisoft that made this game, which is, I know, very surprising, because now they've basically become, you know what I'm talking about. But guys, obviously Prince of Persia, the original IP, was actually made by someone completely different, but, when they transformed it into action-adventure game, third-person action-adventure game, they were the ones who took it on, and it was truly amazing. The combat, guys, was so deep and complex. There was you would have to go into the menu of your game, and you would have to look at the different combinations of, sword mechanics and stuff like that. There was dual wielding in the second one, and the second one, guys, oh my god, that was the best one. That was my bread and butter, because when I was growing up, it was the perfect time for me as a, young teenager, when I wanted to be a little bit edgy, and nothing says I'm an edgelord than Prince of Persia 2 Warrior Within. It was just so, now it's kind of cringy, but still, that's why I love it. Even playing it today, it's hilarious, because, it's very on the nose and edgelordy, but it's so cool in that regard, because it was the first game where, it wanted to basically, take a kind of kid, family-friendly game and turn it into something way more adult, and it did a really good job with that. And the mechanics were just the best thing about this, dual wielding, a massive list of combinations and cool, stylish, sword, gameplay, and, just fighting mechanics, and the fact that you would actually have to learn these different combos and memorize them, and, depending on where you are on the map, if you're up against a wall, if you're next to a pole, you can do a really cool pole move, or a wall move. You would actually feel like a badass, because you were the actual one doing all these cool moves. You weren't just, pressing one button to do a combination, which you do now in modern day gaming. You actually had to memorize and do all these cool, action moves, and it was so cool, guys. And when you had to do the platforming, that was the same thing. It didn't hold your hand. If you fell off a ledge, it wouldn't stop you with an invisible wall. No, you would actually fall off and die. Yes, you did have the, time mechanic, but that was just the mechanic. That's what made it so cool. It was really punishing, but also so fun to play. The story was so cool. The different time zones you would go into. You would have a future world and the present world in the second one. The first one was pretty basic, but it was still really cool with building up the original trilogy. And the third one was pretty good as well, where you had like magical powers because you were like, you know, tainted with like a dark prince, and that was pretty cool. You would use like, you know, different powers and stuff like that, but it just didn't hold your hand. It didn't tell you what to do. It didn't tell you, you know, how to solve puzzles. It didn't give you hints. You know, you actually had to do all these combinations yourself. It would be challenging. It would just be a good old game, you know. It wouldn't be something, you know, that was rammed down your throat with, you know, how to do this and, you know, easy combinations. So the combat was just a joke, and the platforming, you know, you had to do all these things yourself. And the story was really cool, and I just really miss that games have kind of forgotten the mysterious nature of what makes gaming good. Because if a game tells you what to do and how to do it, and, you know, it's just not really you doing it, it's all just cutscenes, or it's just a simple one button to counter an attack or something like that, you know, they're not fun anymore. That's the problem. Yes, there are still some good games out there. I'm not saying there aren't any good games, but, you know, this was the time when any game would be different and unique, and Prince of Persia was the first game to really capture that unique, you know, third-person action-adventure game with so many different cool mechanics, really interesting camera perspectives, and, you know, it was just amazing, guys. If you've never played it, I would highly recommend that you play it. I think you can even buy it on PC. Like I said, I'm not really one for gaming anymore, but I still do love the gaming culture, and I love talking about old games, and I still do play good games now and then, and this was one of them. This original trilogy was just amazing. It was groundbreaking at the time, and I just feel like modern day games need to go back and look at what made gaming so good and apply it today. But of course they won't, because modern day greed and capitalism, everyone just wants money. They don't care if it's watered down, easy, simplistic garbage. Prince of Persia, you know, in retrospect, was actually a golden piece of gaming, because, you know, the combat was just so deep. It had you engaged pretty much from the beginning until the end. The voice acting, everything about it was just great. And yes, it was kind of, you know, it's kind of one of those games where it's fun to laugh at or laugh with it, because a lot of it is, you know, kind of on the nose and a little bit cringy, but that's what makes it, you know, so charming, is the, you know, just the kind of ridiculousness of it, and the fact that it takes itself seriously. You know, it's just a great game, guys, and I would highly recommend that you go and play it, because it really is amazing. And old games like these, you know, are just diamonds in the rough now, and sadly, you know, there's not many like this. So yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on Prince of Persia, the original trilogy. Definitely go check it out, guys. It truly is amazing. And guys, let me know your opinions down below in the comments if you've played it, or what are your favorite childhood games, or, you know, what other games are really good that were back in the day. Let me know. And also, guys, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and to stream my music on Spotify and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next video of The Savior Show. Have yourself a blessed day, and peace out. I love YouTube.